Hi, I'm Henry. I've always been the responsible one in our family. Never missed a bill payment, graduated top of my class, and landed a sweet job at a tech firm right out of college. Meanwhile, my older brother Dave has always been, well, let's just say his charm usually gets him out of the messes he creates. Last Sunday at our weekly family dinner, I noticed Dave checking his phone constantly, his face getting tighter each time. Everything cool? I asked while helping Mom set the table. Mind your business, golden boy, he snapped, shoving his phone in his pocket. Mom called us for dinner, her famous pot roast making my stomach growl. As we gathered around the table, Dad clinked his glass like he always does before saying grace. Before we eat, your mother and I have something troubling to discuss. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. Mom fidgeted with her napkin, not meeting anyone's eyes. My grandfather's watch is missing from our bedroom safe. So is your mother's pearl necklace, the one her grandmother gave her. I frowned. Did you check all the usual places? Maybe when you were cleaning? We've looked everywhere, Mom interrupted. The safe was locked, and only family knows the combination. Dave cleared his throat. Actually, I've been meaning to talk to you guys about something. He glanced at me, then back at our parents. I saw Henry in your bedroom last week when you weren't home. My jaw dropped. What? I haven't been in your bedroom in months. Dave continued like I hadn't spoken. And well, I didn't want to say anything, but I noticed he's been buying some expensive stuff lately. That new laptop, those designer shoes. I got a bonus at work, I protested. I showed you the email, Dad. Dad's face hardened. Your brother mentioned you might be having money problems. Something about gambling apps on your phone? I stared at Dave in disbelief. Those were his apps. I'd seen them when he asked me to order food on his phone last month. That's complete language, Mom warned, but her voice trembled. I save for those things, I insisted. Check my bank statements. Dave looked at me with perfect concern. Look, maybe you need help, bro. We all make mistakes. I didn't take anything. I stood up, hands shaking. In fact, Dave was just complaining about some loan shark last month. That's enough. Dad slammed his hand on the table. Henry, we found your old class ring in the safe, the one you claimed you lost. My blood ran cold. I hadn't seen that ring in years. That's impossible. I lost it after graduation. Mom started crying. Why would you do this to us, Henry? After everything we've done for you? I looked from Mom to Dad to Dave, who had the audacity to look sad. I didn't take anything. Someone's setting me up. I stared directly at Dave. And I think we all know who. The dining room fell silent after my accusation. Dad pushed his plate away, his appetite gone. I think you should leave, Henry. We need time to process this. I tried calling them the next day, but Mom barely spoke 2 words before handing the phone to Dad. We found more missing items. Your mother's tennis bracelet, my cufflinks. Coincidentally, they disappeared right after your last visit. I swear I didn't take anything. Have you talked to Dave about this? Your brother is helping us catalog everything that's missing. He's been nothing but supportive while you're throwing accusations around. I drove to my parents' house unannounced, desperate to clear my name. Dave answered the door, blocking the entrance. They don't want to see you right now, man. Get out of my way. Those are my parents, too. Fine, but don't say I didn't warn you. Inside, Mom was sorting through photo albums, her eyes red from crying. Look what I found in Dave's old jacket when I was doing laundry. She held up a pawn shop receipt dated 3 weeks ago. My heart leapt. Let me see that! But when she handed it to me, my stomach dropped. The receipt had my signature, a perfect forgery. That's not my signature. Dave must have... Stop blaming your brother. He showed us your credit card statements, the gambling, the cash advances. We didn't raise you like this. I turned to Dad. Check the security cameras from the pawn shop. It wasn't me. We already did, Dad said quietly. The manager confirmed it was you. Later that night, I met my friend Sophia at our favorite bar. She listened as I unloaded everything. Something doesn't add up. Dave suddenly flush with cash while supposedly helping your parents. The same Dave who borrowed money from you 3 times this year? Exactly. And get this. The items went missing on days I wasn't even in town. I was in Chicago for that conference when Mom's bracelet disappeared. Sophia leaned forward. Have you checked their financial accounts? If Dave knows the safe combination, what else does he have access to? The next day, I drove by my parents' house when I knew they'd be at church. Dave's car was in the driveway. I watched from across the street as he emerged, checked his surroundings, and drove off. I called Mom an hour later. Hey, just checking if you guys will be home later? I wanted to stop by. We're actually at your aunt's birthday lunch. Dave insisted we all come. Maybe next weekend? But Dave wasn't at Aunt's lunch. He'd been at their house alone. 3 days later, Dad called. His voice was like ice. The bank called about unusual activity on our accounts. Withdrawals we didn't make. They showed us the security footage. Let me guess. They think it's me? It is you. Your driver's license was used for identification. We filed a police report, Henry. Don't contact us again. The line went dead before I could respond. Dave had won. My own parents thought I was stealing from them. I sat in stunned silence until my phone buzzed. A text from Sophia. Check your email. I have an idea. I opened Sophia's email immediately. She detached screenshots from Dave's Instagram, photos of a new Rolex, dinner at 5-star restaurants, and a weekend trip to Vegas. Where's this money coming from? Your brother was begging you for rent money 3 months ago. Exactly. Let's dig deeper. We spent the weekend stalking Dave's social media and talking to mutual friends. Sophia even pretended to bump into him at his favorite bar. Your brother was throwing cash around like confetti, and some scary-looking dude cornered him by the bathroom, not a friendly chat. Loan sharks. He's got gambling debts up to his eyeballs. What about your parents' accounts? Can we check those? I hesitated. Dad uses Mike at Cornerstone Financial. He's handled their money for years. Would he talk to you? Worth a shot. The next day, I sat across from Mike in his office, explaining the situation. I shouldn't be showing you this, Henry, but I've known your family for 20 years, and these withdrawals raised red flags. He turned his monitor so I could see. 6 transactions in the past month, all just under $5,000, the threshold for additional verification. I studied the dates. I was in Seattle for work on these 3 days, Phoenix on this one. And look at this signature card. Mike pulled out a form. Compare it to your driver's license. The signatures looked identical, too identical, like someone had traced it. Dave must have a copy of my license. Can we check the bank's security footage? Mike looked uncomfortable. That would require a police report. What about their safe deposit box? Has anyone accessed it recently? Yes, twice last month. Your mother's jewelry collection is stored there. I left Mike's office with transaction records and a plan forming. Sophia was waiting in my car. Dave is bleeding them dry. We need to catch him red-handed. How? Your parents won't believe anything you say? We need irrefutable proof. Video of him stealing. 2 days later, I called my parents' house when I knew they'd be out. Dave answered. Why are you answering my parents' phone? I'm house-sitting while they're in Florida visiting Grandma. Someone needs to look after things. Florida? They hadn't mentioned any trip. Actually, I need to talk to you about something important. Remember Dad's coin collection? The rare buffalo nickels? What about them? He asked me to get them appraised before everything happened. I forgot to tell him they're worth serious money now, like 50 grand. There was a pause. Where are they kept? The safe? No, he has a secret hiding spot, behind the loose brick in the basement near the water heater. I'll let him know. Thanks, don't mention I called, though. It would just upset them. The trap was set. Sophia and I drove to my parents' house after dark and snuck in through the basement window. I still had my key. We quickly set up 3 tiny cameras, one facing the basement hiding spot, one in the hallway, and one near the safe. These will activate when they detect motion, Sophia whispered. The feed goes directly to your cloud storage. We barely made it out before headlights swept the driveway. Dave's car. For 2 days, nothing happened. Then at 1:42 a.m., my phone buzzed with motion alerts. Dave was in the basement, prying at the brick wall with a screwdriver. Finding nothing, he cursed and headed upstairs to my parents' bedroom. The safe door swung open. He knew the combination. He rifled through it, pocketing several items before carefully closing it again. Got you, I whispered, downloading the footage. Game over, Dave. The next morning, I called my parents. I need to see you both today. It's important. We have nothing to say to you, Henry, Dad answered coldly. Trust me, you'll want to hear this. I'm coming over at noon. Make sure Dave is there too. Sophia drove me to their house, giving my shoulder a squeeze before I got out. Go get him. My parents sat stiffly in the living room. Dave lounged on the couch like he owned the place. Make this quick. Make this quick, Dad said. I connected my laptop to their TV. I want to show you something. The footage played silently. Dave searching the basement, then opening the safe and pocketing items. Mom gasped. What is this? Security camera footage from 2 nights ago, while you were supposedly in Florida. Dave jumped up. This is fake. He's trying to frame me. I pulled out a folder. These are bank records showing withdrawals from your accounts on days I wasn't even in the state. And here's the report from Mike at Cornerstone Financial noting suspicious activity. Dad flipped through the papers, his face growing paler. You can verify everything with Mike. The timestamps on the video match withdrawal times at the ATM 6 blocks from here. I turned to Dave. The pawn shops have footage too. Of you, not me. Dave's face twisted. They were lending me money. I was going to pay it all back. With what? Your gambling debts? The loan sharks breathing down your neck? Mom started sobbing. Is this true, Dave? You don't understand. I got in over my head and then this opportunity came up. So you stole from our parents and framed me? My voice was deadly calm. You forged my signature, copied my ID, and destroyed my relationship with my family. Dave stepped toward me. Look, I'm sorry, okay? I messed up. But we're brothers. We can fix this. I laughed without humor. Fix it? There's nothing to fix. We're done. Dad finally found his voice. Henry, we didn't know. You didn't want to know. You believed the worst about me without a second thought. Mom reached for my hand. Please, we made a terrible mistake. I pulled away. Yes, you did. I've already spoken to Detective Wilson. He'll be here in 20 minutes to take statements. Dave lunged for the door, but Sophia was blocking it, phone in hand. Going somewhere? Cops are already outside. The next few hours were a blur of police statements and tearful apologies I had no interest in hearing. Dave was arrested for grand theft, fraud, and identity theft. 6 months later, I sat in the courtroom watching Dave receive a 5-year sentence. My parents were there too, sitting separate from me. Outside, Mom tried once more. We miss you at Sunday dinners. I have plans with friends now. I spotted Sophia waiting by my car. My real family. Dad cleared his throat. The trust fund we set up for you. Donate it. I'm doing fine on my own. As I walked away, Mom called out, Will we ever see you again? I turned back one last time. I haven't decided yet. I got in my car where Sophia waited. She'd been promoted to partner at her firm and had helped me land a better job across town. How do you feel? She asked. Free. I started the engine without looking back. Absolutely free. What would you do if you were in Henry's position? Would you eventually forgive your parents for believing the worst about you without proper investigation? Or is their betrayal of trust unforgivable? Is blood family still family after they've shown they don't truly believe in you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this revenge story, hit that like button and subscribe to see more stories like this one. New uploads every day where toxic people get exactly what they deserve.